Hi everybody! This video goes over theme and symbols. The three terms I'll be talking about in this video are motif, theme, and symbol. So the first term I'll be talking about is motif. When analyzing literature, we use the word motif to refer to a recurring image, idea, or symbol. Motifs often help develop themes, but they're not the same thing as a theme. And some examples of motifs in stories that we've read so far include the motif of the struggle between humans and nature in the story The Open Boat, the motif of sight and the motif of blindness in the short story Cathedral, and the motif of family heritage in the short story Everyday Use. The next term I'll talk about is theme. A theme is a literary work's underlying meaning or message. When we make a claim about the theme of a work, we're making a claim about the meaning of the work. And as I said earlier, a theme is not the same as a motif. However, a theme is often expressed and developed through motifs. So the two are related, but they're not the same thing. And to illustrate this difference, I've given you one example from the short story Cathedral. So a motif from the short story Cathedral would be sight and blindness. We see a lot of references to people being able to see and a lot of references to people not being able to see in that short story. Now, an example of a theme about that story would be the statement, in order to truly see and connect with another person, one must to attempt to see the world through their eyes. So rather than just noticing something that's recurring or an idea that's recurring in this second example, in this second statement, I'm actually making a claim about the significance of that. So it's a claim about the meaning or the significance of that theme or that motif, rather than just noticing it. And then the final term I'm going to talk about is symbol. As you probably know, a symbol is an object that represents an abstract concept or idea. And one example that's sort of a cultural symbol is that in Western literature, an apple is often a symbol of sin because it's an association with the biblical story of Adam and Eve. However, symbols can also be unique to a specific literary work. Often, symbols aren't these kind of universal symbols, but they're sort of specific to the works that they're developed within. And one example of this would be in the short story Everyday Use, which we've read. The handmade quilts that are at the center of the story can be read as a symbol of that family's collective history. So the material objects within the story that represent an abstract idea, which is the family's collective history. So that's the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise, I will see you guys in discussion.